Hello, everyone, and welcome to 3 things every federal employee should know before filing an EEO complaint. If you are a federal employee who has experienced discrimination in the workplace, this video is for you. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to like and subscribe below. Now let's begin. So you're thinking about filing an EEO complaint. Someone at your office is treating you differently because of your race, gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation, religion, age, or your medical condition. You've asked them to stop. You've told them that they were making you feel uncomfortable, but they have not changed their behavior. This has left you wondering whether or not you should file a complaint. It's important to realize that once you file an EEO complaint, senior management will decide whether or not to support you or your harasser. If you have not spoken to senior management, this decision will often be made without your involvement. And if your harasser is a manager, they will often make allegations about your work and your attitude to sway senior management support in their direction. No one in the agency will help you if senior management chooses to support your harasser. In order to make a decision as to whether or not you should file a complaint, it is important to understand how the different parts of your agency work together. For example, human resources is there to support management. If your harassing manager has made allegations regarding your work, human resources will help them to improve your performance. The assumption will be that your harasser's allegations are true. The EEO division will discuss your claim with management. They will assume senior management has evaluated the situation and has determined whether or not your claims are valid. They will then make decisions based on senior management's recommendations. There's a good chance that your senior management will share your decision to file an EEO complaint with your coworkers. If your harasser is a manager with senior management support, it will be difficult to get your coworkers to continue to associate with you and support you. They will have to risk being targeted by management because of their friendship with you. Getting senior management support is critical. It should be something you try to do before you file a complaint, especially when you realize senior management decides whether or not to settle with you. The EEOC can pressure the agency, but it cannot force management to settle. Once senior management decides not to support you, you will be fighting this uphill battle alone. You should know that if you have to file an EEO complaint, you do not have senior management support. Having an open EEO complaint looks badly for senior managers. It impacts their evaluation and impacts how their supervisors see them. Senior managers have relationships with individuals in the organization and individuals outside of their organization. Management will often use all of their resources to get you to close your EEO complaint. They can and often will tarnish your reputation in the hopes that you will drop your claim. While the EEO process is ongoing, senior management can initiate an internal affairs investigation. Even if the allegations are untrue, you will be subject to surveillance, your work will be scrutinized, and your efforts to leave the organization will be sabotaged. When an investigation is initiated, you are often the last person to know. Make sure your hands are clean and your work is pristine. Most people don't realize the #1 complaint against agencies is for retaliation. Retaliation occurs when an employee is mistreated by management because they filed an EEO complaint. Based on the annual statistics, it's highly likely that you will also experience retaliation. Retaliation can include changing your work hours, terminating your access to telework, ending work projects abruptly, adding levels of supervision, and a reduction of resources available to you. In other words, there's a really good chance that you will be bullied. The administrative EEO process takes a really long time to complete. The agency often takes months to schedule, conduct, and process your informal complaint. It takes at least 6 months for the agency to complete their investigation. It can take the EEOC years to assign your case to an administrative judge. Many judges do not make rulings in a timely manner. If you have to appeal an administrative judge's decision, it can take up to 2 years for the Office of Federal Operations to make a decision. This process will take a long time. You should be prepared for this to be a long, drawn-out fight. Does this mean that you shouldn't file an EEO complaint? Absolutely not. This is not meant to discourage you. This should just give you all the information you need to decide whether or not you should move forward, ignore what you're experiencing, or just leave the agency. No matter what you decide, you should be prepared for what might happen. Now that you know all the negatives, let's talk about the positive things that happen when you file an EEO complaint. It is important to understand that fighting for your rights can bring positive changes to your workplace for you, your coworkers, and future employees. Even though the agency won't admit it, they will often fix the underlying issues. In my experience, I've seen changes to agency policy and senior management approaches to employee complaints after a successful EEO claim. These changes were often initiated by top agency officials and encouraged by the agency's legal team. I have also seen multiple situations where senior management will move the problematic employee and give them a role where they are no longer supervising people, or the number of people they are supervising has been significantly reduced. If your harassing manager is moved, pay close attention to their new role. Have they been given a role where no one really reports to them? If so, even if the agency attempts to save face and call it a promotion, they have fixed the problem by ensuring that your harasser can no longer discriminate against anyone else. Finally, there will be a point where the agency will either negotiate a settlement or a judge will decide your claim has no merit. If the agency has to pay you money, you can be sure any employees still with the agency who were involved in the discrimination will be disciplined. If you win, the discriminating employees will have consequences. I hope this video helps you to decide whether or not you should file an EEO complaint. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to like and subscribe below. Goodbye for now, and I hope you will join me for my next video.